And welcome everyone to the area of Detroit, Michigan, as we wish you a very happy holiday season. We are about 20 miles north of downtown Detroit as we bring you inside the home of the NBA's Pistons, the Palace of Auburn Hills, for the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating. The top names in the sport skating head-to-head. One free skate with the top spot on the line and a total purse of $200,000. Terry Gannon along with Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, and Peter Carruthers. The men are up first, and what a field we have here for the men. The reigning world champ from Russia, Yevgeny Plashenko, on the ice warming up. He's been a bit injured this year, but he has skated recently. He was terrific in winning the gold medal at home at Cup of Russia. Also here, though, the U.S. national champ, Johnny Weir, who won his first title last season, and he has been nearly perfect this season so far. 2 Grand Prix wins and a second-place finish to the reigning world champ so far for Weir. Also here, the 2-time national champ of France and the reigning world silver medalist, Brian Joubert. The top 3 names in men's skating going for the top spot here in Auburn Hills. And a little bit later, the ladies take the ice in an outstanding field there as well. Michelle Kwan, the 5-time world champion, is here. She's taking on an old foe. A rivalry that dates back to 1994. Arina Slutskaya competing here against Kwan once again. And Sasha Cohen, who has been off the ice for much of this year, now focused on skating here and going after her first national title next month.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Beverly Hills, California, 2004 World Junior Silver Medalist, Evan Lysacek.
So here we go. The men on the ice for 4.5 minutes. Later on, the ladies will be out there for 4 minutes. And up first, the 19-year-old. He may live in Beverly Hills, but he's from Naperville, Illinois originally. Evan Lysacek. Lysacek, the 3-time world junior silver medalist. This year, though, he's been struggling with a hip injury. A stress fracture in his hip. A lot of time away from practice this summer and through the fall.
Well, an opening like that makes a joyous way to do skating in the rain. Of course, the music is singing in the rain. Music that made Gene Kelly very happy.
Having a solid start to the season despite the injury. A 5th place finish at Skate America, making his senior Grand Prix debut, and then a 5th place finish recently at Cup of Russia.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a wonderful start to this program. Great music, good jumps, good spin.
Little Gene Kelly for you, or no?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's very hard to do that kind of tapping on ice because ice requires this kind of long edging and this serpentine footwork that we're seeing here. But it's nice to see this music interpreted this way.
It's his favorite movie, we're told, and he trains out in California alongside Jenny Kirk, and she talked him into skating to it this year.
jumps, but you know, he's letting the tempo of it, letting the character drizzle through here. He's not holding it up. He's not sustaining it. This is better. Of losing the character, losing the plot. Can you imagine Gene Kelly doing that straight line step coming down the floor, even without skates on? I mean, it would have sung. You know, I got to tell you, from a jump point of view, that was a superb program. 8 triples, all of them clean. I mean, that's the kind of thing he's been wanting and hoping to do for a long time, and that's going to stand him in good stead in the marking in this competition.
Really emerged last year at the National Championships, where he had a top 5 finish. Don't forget, this year's Nationals just a few weeks away in Portland. Coming up next, the national champ himself, Johnny Weir.
Hi everybody, I'm Johnny Weir, and I'd like to wish you happy holidays and an excellent new year.
The Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating on ABC Sports.
Inside the Palace of Auburn Hills, and a look at the 5 judges working here. Not a technical specialist to be found. This is the old traditional 6.0 system. And where that table is, Ron Artest of the Pacers was laying on a table. Remember, November 19th, he was hit with a drink thrown by a fan, went up after a fan, and the basket brawl ensued. One of the ugly scenes and images in the history of sports in this country.
5-5.
Meanwhile, here in the kiss and cry, Evan Lysacek, the 19-year-old, waiting for his marks now, along with his coaches, Ken Kangemi and Frank Carroll. Frank very warm on the left-hand side of your screen there. And 5-4, 5-5 range for the first set of marks. Technical merit. And the presentation marks 5-5, 5-6s, the rest of them for presentation for Evan Lysacek. And so the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating is underway here in suburban Detroit. We check the calendar. We are exactly 419 days out from the opening ceremonies of the next Olympic Games in Torino, Italy. And when you look at this field, it could be the Olympic field. These are the names here that will figure prominently in the race for the gold medals at the next Olympics. Joining us right now, the Olympic champ, Peggy Fleming, for a little preview of the ladies. They'll take the ice later on. And Peggy, the 3 best-known names in the sport here, Kwon, Cohen, and Slutskaya. And for Irina Slutskaya, the former world champion, a year ago, she had a serious illness, vasculitis. It's a blood ailment. They said she may never skate again. Certainly she had to take a year away from the ice. Here she is, maybe better than ever.
Well, she's amazing. This is a feel-good story. Irina has had so many setbacks in the past few years, but I think she is in the best shape of her life. She is fit, she's happy, and she's skating great and winning big competitions. She's shown us a lot of focus and character, but she is very determined to win back her world title, and it would mean a lot to her because it's going to be held in her hometown of Moscow in March. Then there's Michelle Kwon, who I never count out. She is focusing on winning her 9th national title in January, which is coming up in just a few weeks. But she hasn't competed in over 2 months, and she's still testing out this new program to Bolero. It's very challenging, but Michelle Kwon loves a challenge.
Yeah, their rivalry, too, dates back a decade, back to 1994. And Sasha Cohen, of course, coming off a back injury, but you go back just a year for her, and she was winning Grand Prix events all over the world, and some said she was the best skater in the world.
We'll see.
See in a little bit. Back to the men right now with Mr. Button, and I think you can argue even more strongly for the men that these are the best 3 skaters in the world today.
You know, not only are they the best, any one of them would be a
could be an Olympic champion, and any one of them would be a worthy Olympic champion. I mean, Brian Joubert, look at him. He has a muscular build. He's a solid skater. He has powerhouse jumps. I'll bet he'd make a great soccer player. And then there's Plushenko. He's got pizzazz and flair and style, but the style that's not always clean or classy. But when he's on, he can be mesmerizing. And then there's Johnny Weir. Now, he's a brilliant, highly conservative tactician. He's fleet, he's lithe, he's steady. There is no excessive flamboyance in his skating. But watch him as he skates. He skates unto himself, and his performance sneaks right up on you.
Johnny Weir.
The three best in the world still to come. And up first is the 20-year-old from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Johnny Weir. Remember that disaster in Dallas at the National Championships a couple of years ago? He literally hit the wall, had to withdraw, came back last year and won. It's been quite a journey in this season. A win at the NHK Trophy, a win at Grand Prix Paris, a second place at Cup of Russia. And along the way, Dick, he's done it his way.
Look at how steady those were, how secure, how clean and neat. He's a skater that skates unto himself. Keeps it all inside. Flip jump.
Some visa problems, a flight delay, got to Moscow late for Cup of Russia, and came in second to Yevgeny Plushenko and skated very well.
See, the change in the leg position is used as part of the new judging system, which we're not seeing here, in order to increase the points.
You know, the new international system in play now at the World Championships, the Grand Prix Series, a cumulative points system. But here it's the old 6.0. That's the perfect mark in this event.
Popped double axel. That should have been a triple axel. Not help him.
Point at the National Championships, it will be the traditional 6.0 system. Beyond this year, we're not sure in terms of the United States Figure Skating Association.
Look at the spin going to the outside edge and then back again. In a way, that's required kind of point building in the new system, but it hurts the view of the spin. It keeps you from seeing a really perfect spin that is centered, controlled, and fast and long. But that's the new system we'll be seeing later this year. Kind of a fall is going to clearly mark him down in this competition. I think he's had a negative quality towards his performance here.
And he did re-injure his right foot recently when he was in Moscow. He was injured at the beginning of the year. It hampered him. It's hurt again.
He is not a skater who usually makes mistakes like that. Ordinarily, he's been a very consistent, steady performer. Now look at the stretch of that leg and the point of the feet and the inside edge going in there. That's interesting. Straight Straight line footwork. Look at these kind of steps and the turns. Always the Russian audiences like him. They understand the artistry of his skating, the simplicity of it, the line of it, the musicality of it, and that's good. Good combination spin, wonderful positions. Look at the dropped hands here, the position of the body, and the stretch of the free leg. Very good, very nice. It just didn't seem as though Johnny Weir was able to plan out how he was going to approach this program tonight. It started off well, but then he was unable to sustain it, and it wasn't his moment.
Bumping the road in this dream season for 20-year-old Johnny Weir of the U.S.
Now, the opening of the program had a really beautiful triple axel right there, and then he stepped up immediately into a triple toe. But later on, this triple loop jump was not so successful. Watch the body lean out. He sits down on that landing foot, cannot raise himself, and can't hold it. Here you see it again. Look at that back sitting position. Strength is not there to pull it out.
5-1.
So now the marks, and they will not be as high as he had expected, or he's gotten used to. Technical marks, 5-1 up to 5-6, a wide range.
Well, they're also reflective of the fact that he made major mistakes in the technical area.
Presentation for him is always higher, though, Dick, or usually it is. And here are the marks. 5-5. See those three of those, a 5-6 and a 5-7. So Johnny Weir in the second place. That's a surprise. Still to skate the top two in the world last year at the World Championships. Ryan Joubert from France and Yevgeny Plishenko from Russia. They're still to come here at the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating. Here's hoping your holidays. Still to skate here in Auburn Hills, the former world champ from Russia, Irina Slutskaya, maybe in her best shape ever. And Sasha Cohen coming back off that back injury. Is she ready to take on the top names? That's coming up a little bit later. Right now we go over to Peter Carruthers. Peter?
Michelle, this is your second time competing this season. In about a month, you're going for a record-tying 9 U.S. titles. How have you prepared for this challenge?
Well, like I prepare for any national championship, you just focus on what you have to do. And it is sort of a special one for me because Maribel Vincent Owen taught Frank Carroll. And, you know, if I do win this, it'll be my 9. So I don't know. I have to just enjoy myself because I've had a very lucky career, and I just got to look at it that way.
Well, speaking of that, this is your 12th year as a senior in a sport that really takes its toll on injuries. What do you attribute to having such longevity in this sport?
Being lazy, I guess. Knowing when to push yourself and your limitations.
All right, Peter, thanks.
Welcome from Detroit, Michigan, 2004 Skate America silver medalist, Ryan Yankee.
Meanwhile, the men's event continues. And it's an American on the ice right now, the 26-year-old from just about 45 minutes from here, Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, Ryan Yankee. His wife is here, Tatiana. His parents are here, a couple of aunts, a lot of fans here cheering for Ryan Yankee. Quite a season already, too. Won his first medal ever in the Grand Prix Series, a silver at Skate America, came in 4th at Skate Canada.
That was an attempt at a triple. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as it could have been. But look at the stylish quality of this skater. The elegant line. His musical sense is very good. When he does it, when he hits them, the jumps are wonderful. But here's a second jump in the program that he's missing. This is the kind of failure that has plagued him. And and will prevent him from rising unless he is able to come to grips with how to land jumps in a competition. Even that looked like it had a double footing. There's not a better line that you'll see than in that camel.
Ryan moved away from the Detroit area 5 years ago. He lives and trains in Colorado Springs. His original coach still works with her, Diana Ronay. Been together for 14 years now.
Oh, look at the skid off into that axle. You can just see the snow flying. Now, when you do a triple or a quadruple, there's quite a difference between this jump and it's just unfortunate that just throws off the balance of the whole jump. The problem is he's a wonderful athlete and he can do beautiful jumps when they work. There's so many skaters that have failed to be able to achieve that under pressure.
Plenty of athletes, not only skaters, who have been able to do it in practice, but not under the lights.
It's called leaving it on the practice ice. Look at how this flows. The edging is wonderful. The positions are good. It's musical. That's quality when he can do it. One of the few straight line steps where the skater actually stops in the middle of it. Nice variation. Tom Dixon, the choreographer, very talented. Triple loop jump. You know, there's a quality and an elegance and a line there that is simply smashing. He did 5 triples, 2 of which were slightly two-footed, and the other problems, and that hurts this overall performance.
Got to be disheartening here in front of a home crowd to have that performance, though. Still a nice ovation for the hometown kid, Ryan Yankee, will have his marks. And then the hottest thing going in men's skating the last couple of years, Brian Joubert takes the ice.
Hi, I'm Brian Joubert. Je vous souhaite un joyeux Noël et tous mes meilleurs vœux pour l'année prochaine. I wish you all the best for the next year.
Figure skating event and a French lesson all in one. Joubert takes the ice right after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Season's greetings from ABC Sports, home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
Peter Carruthers back in Detroit with Johnny Weir. You've had a great season. 2 Grand Prix wins coming in. It seemed like the setup was just right. But what went wrong on the ice?
Nothing really went wrong on the ice. It was just a matter of me being exhausted from all the traveling I've been doing and sort of an injury on my right foot. But I just need rest and time to be unexhausted.
Well, thanks for your time and luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Peter, so Johnny Weir with some work to do. Remember, the national championships are next month in Portland. Right now, Evan Lysacek, a surprise leader over Johnny Weir and then Ryan Yankee. So you've got 3 Americans, the top 3 spots. But on the ice right now, the reigning world silver medalist from France, 20-year-old Brian Joubert.
Remember the music. It's from the motion picture 1492, The Conquest of Paradise.
Remember what skater who now lives and trains in Detroit skated to this? Todd Eldridge.
Absolutely.
By the way, Ryan Yankee's marks ranging from 5.0 to 5.6 overall, and as I mentioned, he's currently in 3rd.
Now this may or may not be his quad toe. Well, it had a lot of revolutions, but not a very strong landing.
He has just skyrocketed to the top. Winning the European title last year, came in 2nd in the world at the World Championships to Yevgeny Plushenko, but might have leveled off a bit this season.
But look, you see, look at this. I mean, here he too is falling out of that triple axel.
Dick, I mentioned it a moment ago. I want to get your reaction, your thoughts on this, because here's a guy who just came out of nowhere seemingly to become one of the top 3 skaters. Last year, top 2 skaters in the world. But this year, there is a feeling that he's not progressing from this point. Do you agree?
You have to move beyond yourself every year, and I don't think he has done that at this point. I think there was some help in his moves, but he's you can't. You're asking me at exactly the wrong moment. No, he hasn't progressed, and I think it's hurting him that that's the case. You know, technique is something that has to stand you through no matter what position, no matter what year it is, no matter what your condition or your feelings are. And I think with too many of the skaters, they suffer on that score. I mean, he has a wonderful arc into his skates, wonderful smooth edges coming out. I mean, he's been absolutely brilliant on it. And here again, he's just not up to his performance. I think there's a tremendous pressure on these guys. Winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. You know, it's a very competitive scene. Many of the moves that he does are reminiscent of what Alexei Yagudin did. He's been trying to change that somewhat, but he hasn't really developed his own style. It's something he has to do.
Alexei Yagudin, of course, the Olympic champion. This has not been the men's competition we expected, with Weir's struggles, now Joubert's struggles. Don't forget the world champ still to come. We got the ladies and the top 3 names there still to come. Kwan, Cohen, Slutskaya in the ladies' field.
And these straight line steps, very reminiscent of Yagudin, and really not developed to his own style of skating. And even there, he's just quite not capable of doing the lightness that those steps called for. Just not a finish that is up to a skater of this level. He kind of fell out of that ending and just drizzled it off. Not his best night by any means. And you can see it on his face there.
I think he's a bit shocked right now at that performance. I haven't seen one like that for quite some time for the world silver medalist, Brian Joubert.
Now, the opening of the program showed this quadruple toe loop. Good revolution, but the landing faulty. He wasn't able to hold that edge, and he went down, and in fact the program went downhill from here on out.
Joubert and his coach Laurent Depuy shaking their heads, having a laugh right now a little bit in the kiss and cry, but that is a performance that is very rare. Now the marks, the 5-2, 5-3 range, low.
Well, you know, when you stop to see it, he only did 4 clean triples. He touched down on a quad. He fell on one triple axel. He stepped out of the other. He slipped off a Lutz jump.
Presentation
record.
5-5 to 5-7 for Joubert. He's in second. Evan Lysacek is still your leader. He wouldn't have been on the board in Vegas before this started. So Joubert and Weir have been disappointments so far. It's up to the reigning world champ now. Yevgeny Plushenko confidently with his coach Alexei Mishin making his way onto the ice.
Hi, I am Yevgeny Plushenko. С Новым годом! Happy New Year!
So far, the men's event has not lived up to its billing. U.S. national champion Johnny Weir struggled. Two-time French national champion and reigning world silver medalist Brian Joubert struggled as well. And the major surprise has been Evan Lysacek, the 19-year-old from suburban Chicago, has the lead. And there is Lysacek right now. He's relaxing, but maybe not relaxed in a moment or two, because on the ice set to go, the reigning world champ, Yevgeny Plushenko, who withdrew from 2 of his Grand Prix events this season, citing injury. There have been questions about the injury and the decision to withdraw. We caught up with him to ask him what exactly the reason was behind his decision.
This summer we not prepare for example, for Skate Canada and NHK trophy. And I need, because I was sick in summer and I was not ready. If you're not ready, how you can get first place, for example? How you can compete with such a great skaters?
Evgeny Plushenko.
There are a couple of ways you can look at that. Number one, you say, well, you skate through anything, but I think Plushenko has matured through the years, and he knows when to back off. So many of the great ones do. Michel Kwan is one of those as well. Takes time off and does not compete. And Yevgeny Plushenko, the reigning world champ with a chance to win with this performance. Obviously, it is The Godfather, but a different arrangement. Edvin Martin arranged it just for Yevgeny Plushenko.
Now, this attempt right here, a quad toe, triple toe. Beautiful combination. Beautiful combination, and that will set him up, I think, certainly emotionally for the rest of this program. Axel. Light, easy. Though there's a lot of movement there, it's very controlled movement. toe. Hardly reached back on that toe kick. Did you see that? And that's why it ended up doubling it and not tripling it. Didn't get the height to pull it off. Good stretch on the Scannell. And a sit spin that's better positioned than we've seen in the past.
Figure skating fan, you know that Yevgeny Plushenko dealt with a torn meniscus in his knee through the entire season last year, and it says he's not going to get it operated on until after the Olympics, and now he's having problems with the other knee.
But look at this circular footwork. Talk about frantic, talk about wild, talk about zinc. He's doing something very interesting here. He's holding back in the first part of the program. Now many of the triples are over and he's letting go more. That's a classic way to approach the program. This is where he just loves to excel and let it all hang out. He pulls off a nice high flying axel sit spin, open axel sit spin at the end to put a period on the end of that. See, that's good theater. Final combination spin, better than past years. Good speed, good centering it. And there, right, watch his head. See how much straighter it is. That wasn't the fastest spin ever, but it was a lot better and very good for the end of the program. Right to the judges. Right to the judges. That's giving it to him.
Pretty intense program, Dick.
Very, very.
Plushenko away from the ice for much of this season. Recently competed in the Grand Prix, his first event this year. There's Evan Wyshechek. Evan, you skated great, but guess what? Not your time. At least today, this man right here.
But you know, this is a classic case of somebody who knows how to play the audience, knows how to control his performance, to hold back when it's necessary, and then let it all out. He's a great theater guy.
Yevgeny Plushenko, the three-time world champ.
This opening quadruple toe was magnificent. Watch as he reaches straight into the air, beautiful revolution, and then stretch right back and go into a triple toe loop. That was perfection. Here, though, in this triple flip jump, he didn't reach far enough back, and it became a double. Later in the program, he did a straight line step that had a lot of wild moves, a lot of zing and pizzazz. Not very classy, but a lot of fun to watch. That flying back death drop at the end was just wonderful.
So you just saw why Plushenko won 3 world titles and why he is the favorite for the Olympic title. Evan Wyshechek, a great effort, had scores in the mid-5s. First set, technical marks, 5'8", 5'9", very hot. And look at the presentation, get 3 perfect sixes.
Well, I think those are, in the long run in the history of skating, they're generous, but it's nice to see them reward them because it was a performance that was well done, completely performed, triple jump-wise, and a lot of zing and pizzazz.
You like that program, too?
I like the way he does it. I like what he does, and no matter whether it's classical style or not, it's fun to watch. This guy can really let you bring you in.
So it's Yevgeny Plushenko. He won a Cup of Russia and now his second victory this year. Plushenko wins top honors here. Evan Lysacek, just a great effort. And with these names here, he beats Brian Joubert. He beats the U.S. national champion Johnny Weir, finishes ahead of Ryan Yankee, rounding out the top 5. Right now, let's go over to Peter Carruthers.
Yevgeny Plushenko, you told us earlier that you pulled out of the Grand Prix because you weren't prepared. Explain your plan for the season.
I tell you the truth, in summer I was sick very bad. I have pneumonia and I have problem with my ear. So I was in hospital 2 weeks and I have just started good shape and I'm preparing for next year, 2005 for sure. For Europeans, for nationals, and so, of course for World Championships.
Right. Now, you're going to try to win your 4th World Championships in your home country of Moscow, Russia. What kind of pressure is going to be on you in March?
That's going to be hard. You know, I like skate home, but it's going to be hard. But I look forward to skate in Moscow. I live in St. Petersburg, but in Moscow is the same like home for me, and I look forward to skate and make good performance.
All right, we'll see the Worlds on ESPN in March, and good luck to Yevgeny Plushenko. Terry may be the next Olympic champion.
When we return, the festivities continue. One woman will find a nice present under the tree at the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating.
Hi, I'm Michelle Kwan. From my family to yours, happy holidays and happy New Year.
The mood is festive, but the skating serious. Michelle Kwan is sharpening her focus with visions of a record-tying 9th national championship dancing in her head. It's been a bah humbug season thus far for Sasha Cohen because of a lingering back problem, but adversity always fuels her fire. And the hottest skater here, none other than Irina Slutskaya, already a 2-time Grand Prix winner this season. She wants to ring out 2004 in style. The Ladies Championship is about to be decided right now. And we welcome you back inside the Palace of Auburn Hills here in suburban Detroit. The Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating continues. The ladies on the ice warming up. What a group we have here in suburban Detroit. It includes Michelle Kwan, the 5-time world champion, 8-time national champion, a bit of a question mark right now. She skated at the beginning of this season in the Campbell's International Classic. She has not competed since, more than 2 months away from competition. So too for Sasha Cohen. She was in that event, but she's been away from competition because of an injured back. So we'll see how she skates and how fit she is at a very critical time in the season. Remember, the Nationals not too far away. But the greatest comeback story in a long, long time, that of Irina Slutskaya. Last year, she had a blood disease that took her away from the ice. She was in and out of hospitals for months, and they told her, you're not going to skate at least for a year, maybe never again. Here she is. She came in first. She won the gold medal at the World Championships in 2002, out in 2003, just a 9th place finish, her only major event last year. 2 big wins already this season. Let's go to Peter Carruthers for more on Slutskaya.
Terry, for Irina Slutskaya, she's one of the most courageous comeback stories in skating history. Last year, she was diagnosed with vasculitis. Now, it can be a life-threatening illness, but it's inflammation of the blood vessels. It was treated with medication, a drug that was perfectly legal. But to top that off, her mother has been very sick, but she remains optimistic. She is having a great season. She's won 2 Grand Prix events, out there doing triple combinations. I asked her this afternoon, is she happy with the season so far? She said, yes, I am, but there's still room for improvement. Nonetheless, pretty impressive for a young lady who just a year ago, her doctors told her she should take an entire year off. Terry, she is a fighter.
Yeah, Peter, no doubt about that. Glad to have you along. Happy holidays, everybody. It's Peggy Fleming and Dick Button alongside. And what do you make of all this? Irina Slutskaya, all her health problems in her family. Mother-in-law recently died. It's been amazing.
Well, you know, whatever problems she may have, whatever injuries or illnesses that either she or her family may face, I've got to tell you that Irina Slutskaya is not a lady who will lie down and say, poor me, poor me.
Yeah.
I mean, she has an upbeat personality. She has cheerfulness. She has just a positive quality that is wonderful to see. And she's a competitive fighter. I mean, she's a joy to watch. I love her.
And what's been a joy to watch, too, is the rivalry that dates back a decade. 1994, she has been competing since then against Michelle Kwan.
But it's a friendly rivalry. They are good friends, and that's wonderful to see. But Michelle Kwan here at this competition has an amazing program to Bolero, and it was choreographed by Christopher Dean, who made it famous.
Right.
He skated to it with his partner Jane Torval at the '84 Olympics in Sarajevo, and it's a very challenging piece of music, but Michelle never shies away from a challenge, so it's going to be interesting, but she'll have to complete all those triple jumps if she's going to compete against Irina, because she is in great shape.
So we'll see. 3 of the top names in the sport set to go here in Detroit. Before we get the ladies underway, just a reminder, Monday night, join Al Michaels, John. So here's the 24-year-old who'll be trying to tie Maribel Vincent, who has 9 national championships next month in Portland. Michelle Kwan tries to win her 9th. But problems already here, guys. During the warm-up, she went off the ice, took her boot off, and rearranged whatever was under there, her sock, whatever it was, and now she's having problems again on the ice. Remember in 2001 in qualifying at the World Championships, it fell apart right before she was the first skater.
It's a very delicate thing how your foot feels in the boot and whether you've got the laces tied in exactly the right way. Sometimes you can spend 3 or 4 ties before they come exactly right, and I suspect that's what's happened here.
Well, because that's how you adjust the stiffness of the boot, and it has to be just right so that when she does land, she has that support, and that's what the laces are for, is for that kind of adjustment of comfort.
Ready to go now. You're allowed 2 minutes from the time they announce your name to start your program. Michelle Kwan ready to go.
Remember the music, Ravel's Bolero, the music that was behind one of the great performances of ice skating, Torval and Dean's win at the 1984 Olympic Games.
Our opening combination, triple toe, double loop.
Well, that was all right. Didn't look like the boot was hurting that.
Triple flip jump, this takeoff.
Very nice.
Very solid.
And look at the smoothness as she goes into this double axel. Oh, and of course, I hadn't had to say that. The first time I've seen her have a faulty landing on that in a long, long time.
Layback spin was a little bit slow.
A little bit of a double foot there.
These camel spins, both directions. This is to the left. steady combination. Actually, she took that out. So that has been re-choreographed right in that section.
She told us in early October when we saw her at that Campbell's Classic that it's a much different program than it will look at the end of the year.
Boy, she slipped off that toe pick there, and that caused a little bit of a fraying on that landing. Not as clean as it could have been. Nice half split jump, falling leaf. One of the things that's so great about this music is that it's a passion and it's phrasing, long edges. It's perfect for ice skating.
Is she matching it?
I think there's a lot of development yet to come in this program. Look at the way she drifted into that. Who can forget the end of the program that Torvill and Dean had? This does not match that. This does not achieve the quality that she can yet do, but I think it's yet there to come.
Somewhat conservative or tentative, you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think she was a little distracted. I think that boot problem at the beginning didn't get her in the mood, and you really have to be in the mood for this music. And here was her very solid triple flip. Watch her tap in right there. Nice turns in the air and a strong, confident landing. And this was a different story. This double axel, she had trouble, you know, getting that solid edge flowing out of that jump, and very shaky.
Now in the kiss and cry with her coach, Rafael Aretunian. And the first set for technical merit, a couple of 1-5-5, the rest 5-6s. She didn't like how that looked.
Not as good as she is going to have to do.
Presentation marks, those are better as they usually are. A couple of 5-7s, the rest 5-8s.
Even those are not brilliant.
So that's the standard being set by Michelle Kwan. We're coming back with the other celebrated American star, Sasha Cohen, the three-time U.S. silver medalist, is next as Marshall's World Cup of Figure Skating continues from suburban Detroit.
Hi, I'm Sasha Cohen, and I want to wish you all a very happy holidays, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's from ABC Sports, home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
On the ice, set to go here at the Marshall's World Cup of Figure Skating, Sasha Cohen, whose season got off to a very slow start. She injured her back and was forced to withdraw from both of her Grand Prix events, Skate America and Cup of China, preventing her from making a trip back to the Grand Prix final.
My back injury happened through repetitive stress, and it just really needed time to heal. I caught it early on, so I just laid off jumping and took it easy, and it's pretty much back to normal now.
You may remember that injury back in 2001, the back injury that caused Sasha Cohen to miss the national championships. This is on the other side, a bit different than that, but it is, as she said, caused by overuse, she thinks, and maybe the time away from competition, away from the ice, will have done her some good. This is a critical time in the season with nationals not too far ahead for her to know that she's ready to go.
Look at how careful she is presenting this program, the stretch of arms, the positioning that she's taking to duplicate the jump entrances. The music, the Nutcracker, Tchaikovsky.
Looked like that might be a 2-foot landing on that triple Lutz double toe combination.
Even if it was, there was wonderfully stretched legs in the air, wonderfully
Still
pointed
beautiful.
feet.
Yes.
Beautiful stretch as she moves into forward inside and then a back outside edge and then a catch foot. Noticed how far her back was leaning as she went into that. The stretch of the foot was beautiful, although very high.
Now again, this triple Lutz that she may have two-footed at the very beginning of the program.
Oh, wow, that was the kind of spill you don't want to see. Forward flipping, oh golly, that's a hurtful one.
She's taken out this Ina Bauer that she used to do before this triple Salchow. Oh, another fall.
That was sort of a catch of an edge, wasn't it? And there's another fallout. Oh dear.
Crowd trying to encourage her to get back into it here. She had to be a bit apprehensive after all the time off, and to add to that, she wasn't able to practice here in Detroit prior to this morning. The airline lost her luggage with her skates in the bags.
This is so steady and beautiful stretch. Nothing quite like her extension. Oh, very disappointing.
3 major falls. What a shame. Only 2 clean triples. Not her moment.
She may be healthy, but a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. And she knows it. But she has to pull this together if she's going to compete at this level.
Reigning world silver medalist Sasha Cohen.
And one of the shocking moments in this program was this triple flip. Watch the stretch, the reach back, and not enough revolution, not enough distance, not enough height or turn to hold the landing. And here again in a triple Lutz, watch again. First this kind of fall, but this kind of landing, the worst kind, nowhere near completed, and a really crisscrossed legs, very painful. Look at the grimace right there in her face.
That's the face of frustration. A couple of moments ago, it was the face of pain. A couple of those falls really looked like they hurt. Robin Wagner alongside. First set for technical merit, all 5.3s. And not much reaction at all, although a little happier they are with the presentation marks, the 5.6s and the 5.7s. But as I said, a lot of work to do for Sasha Cohen. So Michelle Kwant still has the lead. She's with Peter Carruthers right now.
Michelle, right before the free skate, you had problems with your skate. What was going on?
Well, after 2 minutes of being on the ice, I started slipping in my left skate, so I decided to take the rest of the time and take my skates off and just relace them again. And, you know, sometimes that happens, but just go out there and focus again.
Your thoughts on the performance itself? Are you happy with Bolero at this point in the season?
Well, it's always a work in progress, and I readjusted a lot of things in my program, new spins, footwork, and it's just a little tough because, you know, it's the end of the program and you're thinking footwork and you're thinking you're tired. And I guess I still have a little bit of time before nationals, so I'm going to go back to the rink and work really hard.
All right, Peter and Michelle here in our Marshall skating style vignette explains the importance of makeup in her performance.
Makeup is an important detail in my skating. It accentuates my features and helps create a mood or a character that I'm trying to portray. I want the person sitting in the furthest seat to be able to see my expression and emotions. Up until 1996, I wore no makeup. At that point, I realized that makeup can enhance my presentation. For my Salome program, I wore exotic makeup and even put rhinestones in the corner of my eyes. But sometimes it can work the other way. In 1998, I wore minimal makeup because I was trying to convey a mood of flying and freedom. Makeup may seem like a small detail, but it's huge in the big picture.
Michelle Kwan is your leader here at the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating in suburban Detroit. On the ice right now, the 20-year-old originally from Newton, Massachusetts, Jenny Kirk, the 2004 U.S. bronze medalist. Recently moved from this area, Detroit, out west, trains in El Segundo, California now.
This program is choreographed by Lori Nickel. I think she did a beautiful job. It's making Jenny move a little bit differently. Very interesting program. She's opening with a triple Lutz, double toe.
She had great trouble with that in practice. It's nice to see her land it at this moment.
Here's choreography where she's tracing a heart in the ice. Very subtle.
Skating the music from the Beatles, little Beatles concerto in this Imagine, the John Lennon song.
Nice triple loop. Really fought for that triple flip, held on to it.
Oh, wow, did you see the takeoff on that? The back inside edge as she went into it, just absolutely skidded.
Nice layback spin, could be a little bit faster. combination spin. She should be very proud of herself. I could see the smile on her face. She should be very satisfied with that performance. Only one fall, 5 triples.
Earlier mistakes, but she came back strong. And certainly many in this crowd where she lived and trained. Very happy to see that performance from Jenny Kirk. However, the door is open for the former world champion from Russia on the comeback trail, Aryna Slutskaya, happy to be competing this holiday season.
Hi, I am Aryna Slutskaya. С Новым годом! Happy New Year!
On the ice right now, the former world champion from Russia, Aryna Slutskaya. It was a little over a year ago that Aryna was diagnosed with vasculitis, an inflammation of the blood vessels, and a serious condition that sidelined her for most of last season. She was also coping with the serious illness of her mother, who was awaiting a kidney transplant. Aryna began to feel better and was strong enough to return to the ice. Last spring, she competed in the World Championships, where she finished 9th. Nearly a year since her diagnosis, Aryna's had an incredible comeback. So far this season, she's won both of her Grand Prix events in China and Russia and is favored to win the Grand Prix final. She lives day by day and is thankful for being healthy enough to be doing what she loves on the ice.
I'm much more better what I have last year, but I still on medicine, you know, and you never know what can happen. I'm happy what I did today. I'm happy I'm staying alive, you know, and I'm happy I go sleep and I can wake up in the morning and I can see a new day.
Aryna Slutskaya.
Taking life day to day, and she told us that any day she wakes up and feels good, she's got a smile on her face. And that's an amazing thing to experience when you're 25 years of age. And not only her health problems, but her mother-in-law who recently passed away. Her mother's been very sick for more than a few years. But here is Aryna Slutskaya, fresh off of 2 wins in the Grand Prix Series. Jenny Kirk, by the way, receiving scores of 5-1 up to 5.6 overall, and she is currently in 3rd behind Sasha Cohen. Michelle Kwan still your leader.
Well, Aryna seems very well prepared for this competition, very strong, opening with a triple Lutz combination. Beautiful triple Lutz there, lots of height. This is what she does best, are these beautiful jumps. There's lots of spring. Now this 3-jump combination. Triple Salchow, double loop.
You can see the wrap on her right knee. She had a minor ligament tear she suffered in October. Does bother her. Not by the looks of these jumps, though.
No, not at all.
Look at the energy she has as she pushes into this. Better stretch, by the way, here than there was in the past. And she catches that foot on the same level with the rest of her body. Doesn't let her leg drop down. That's difficult and very nice.
Rivalry with Michelle Kwan dates back to 1994 at the Junior World Championships. Michelle was 13, Aryna was 15. Kwan won the gold, she won the bronze.
Now look here, watch the legs. They don't stretch out. But look at the height on the jump. I mean, you can forgive the non-stretched out leg in return for the spring in that jump. This layback much improved over what it was in past years.
And this next move coming up, this spiral sequence here, she's changed this to a Biellmann position, and it's much more flattering on her. Not everyone can do this position. You're
just has nowhere near the beauty of some of the other spirals that we've seen.
But she has not been able to achieve a beautiful stretch spiral, so this is a real nice alternative for her.
And a good one. Look at the height. Look at the spring in that one. Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Triple toe and double toe with her arm over her head. Very nice. This is her program from last season. She seems to be very comfortable with it. She looked very relaxed, you know, and she just looked confident. She just looked like she was having fun, felt comfortable out there.
Guys, since the summer of 2003, she's had pneumonia, bronchitis, pericarditis, vasculitis. She hit most of the itises. And here she is trying to keep a perfect season alive. It's been an amazing comeback.
And this was the beginning of her program, a very spectacular looking triple Lutz. Watch the spring that she gets in the air. It's beautifully done.
And in this triple Lutz, again, look at the way she leaps into the air. The good suspension, and then a double toe. Very difficult.
Now the march. Remember, Michelle Kwan leads, and she got scores in the mid-5s for technical merit. And look at these. Slutskaya, those are extremely high.
Well,
the
technical merit deserved every bit of it. Those jumps were just one after the other, solid and high and very, very strong.
And the second set up to a couple of 5.9s and ones across the board for Aryna Slutskaya. So solidly in the lead is the comeback kid over Michelle Kwan. So we're down to the final skater, only one left to try to oust Slutskaya from the top. 24-year-old Angela Nikodinov of the U.S. takes the ice after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
Greatest shows, known as the entertainment capital of the world. Even in the early 1900s, many flocked to see their favorite stars perform live on stage. Toyota and Weight Watchers celebrate the 100th anniversary of Times Square.
Eyewitness to season's greetings from ABC Sports, home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
So far in this matchup of three of the top names in ladies skating, Sasha Cohen after the long layoff, she's not ready yet. Michelle Kwan had problems with her boot just prior to her performance, a somewhat subdued performance. She is in second, and what a comeback for Aryna Slutskaya. Just the fact that she is competing right now, her perfect season continues with one skater left. No bigger names than Slutskaya, Kwan, and Cohen. That's your top three right now with one skater left. The 24-year-old from San Pedro, California, Angela Nikodinov, the two-time U.S. bronze medalist, had a great start to her year. She won Skate America, but then the opposite end of the spectrum. She came in 8th at Cup of China.
She is a beautiful jumper when she completes these jumps, and she has a very lyrical style. Opening with a triple loop. Beautifully done.
Very, very elegant.
I love this position with her hands behind her back. Good stretch. Nice line to that flying camel.
That kind of position used to be exclusively the province of men. Now the world has changed.
One of the minor changes in the world, I would think.
Yep.
Angela, by the way, also one coming back from injury. She initially injured her shoulder back in 2002, had surgery in February of 2003. It's been a long road back.
This spiral sequence not in comparison to those that we've seen either by Cohen or Kwon. That's one of the more elegant laybacks. Drizzled off a little bit at the end. She didn't hold it.
Because of that shoulder, she missed the national championships in 2003. Top 5 finish last year at nationals. She would love to medal at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships in less than a month in Portland. January 15th, we get things underway for Portland on ABC. Disappointing performance, guys, but much better than she had at Cup of China, her latest effort where she came in 8th. Angela Nikodinov will have her marks when we come back, and then we'll crown a champion here in Detroit.
State Farm presents Little Girls Have Big Dreams Too.
Even as a young girl, Sarah Hughes dreamed of being in the spotlight. Although she was the youngest competitor at her first World Championship, Sarah demonstrated a maturity well beyond her 13 years. Over the next 3 years, she rose steadily through the ranks, but it was the skate of a lifetime in Salt Lake City that earned her Olympic gold. She recently decided to put her college education at Yale on hold while she tours with Stars on Ice. And she isn't closing any doors just yet, keeping her options open for the 2006 Olympics. And likewise, Michelle Kwon, who will be going after a record-tying 9th national championship next month in Portland. She'll face Sasha Cohen, who despite her international success, has yet to capture gold at nationals. For For the men, Johnny Weir will try to defend his title, but it won't be easy. Three-time U.S. champ Michael Weiss will be there. And so will former champ Timothy Gable, who is in the midst of rehabbing a back injury and is focused on making a run at a second title. Our coverage of the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships gets underway January 15th live here on ABC Sports and January 13th over on ESPN2.
If you ABC Sports, brought to you by Marshalls, the brands, the prices, the gift possibilities. Marshalls, Smart Ones, the power of red. And State Farm, a proud supporter of U.S. figure skating.
Back in Detroit for more of the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating. But don't forget, one of TV's greatest dramas says farewell for the final season where every episode is new. NYPD Blue coming your way Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, only on ABC. Viewer discretion is advised. Arena Slutskaya has the lead right now, trying to win top honors here. She leads over Kwan and Cohen in the kiss and cry. Here's Angela Nikodinov. Igor Pleskevich, her coach. Crowd doesn't like the marks, and the technical marks in the low fives. 5.1, a couple of those up to 5.4. And similar displeasure expressed by the crowd for the presentation marks in the 5.4, 5.5 range, and so a disappointing effort here in Detroit for Angela.
I think an extremely disappointing. It puts her in way down in this competition.
So your winner is Arena Slutskaya, and we've talked all day long about the comeback story, but it is an amazing one. Slutskaya is now perfect on the year. She won Cup of China, she won Cup of Russia at home, and now she has won the Marshalls World Cup of Figure Skating here. And in doing so, she's beaten Michelle Kwan and Sasha Cohen. And that's how they stand at the end of the day for the ladies here in suburban Detroit. Let's go over to Peter Carruthers.
Arena Slutskaya, your comeback continues. 2 Grand Prix victories and a win here in Detroit. What's this season been like for you?
I'm so happy we can compete here, and I'm so happy I can win here in the States. And I like to compete, I like to skate, and now it's mean lots because that's my 3rd competition this year. I just start from beginning again.
Now you still have the Russian Nationals, and when you take the ice for the World Championships in Moscow, Russia, your hometown, what kind of pressure is that going to be like?
Yeah, the Russian National will be so big pressure on me, and Worlds, of course. But first of all, I need to compete in Russian National to be 1st or 2nd to go to the Worlds. And after we'll talk about Worlds.
All right, well, we'll see you on the Grand Prix finals. It'll be on ESPN. Good luck there.
Thank you so much.
Terry?
All right, Peter, thank you. A further update, by the way, on Johnny Weir. His foot injury is going to prevent him from competing at the Grand Prix final, which will be on ESPN December 27th, but he will defend his title at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Our coverage gets underway January 15th on ABC Sports. Up next, One from the Heart, presented by AstraZeneca. Producer Kurt Gowdy Jr., our director Doug Wilson. For Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, and Peter Carruthers, I'm Terry Gannon. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Happy holidays and goodbye from Detroit, everybody.